There's some seats over here.
There you go. Pull in a little bit here.
All right. Being 6 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out this evening. We were just talking about the last time the room has been this full, and we think it was probably the uniform addressing issue that we did back, I think it was 2018 or 2019. So thanks again for coming out. We have a lot of names on the sheet for public comment, so please try to keep your comments succinct, to the point. And then if you need more time, there's been some people who have relinquished time in the past. Just be mindful to try not to repeat comments. And also make sure you turn off your telephones. All right, we'll get started. Go ahead and call the roll, please, Bonnie.
Chris Bull.
Here.
Alex Medvick.
Here.
Chris Eden.
Here.
Kelly Coyle.
Here.
Aaron Mishka, absent, excused. Cindy Buchowski Hoffman. Here. And Ken Charneski.
Here. All right, first up is Jennifer Poyer. Clerk will read a written comment.
Jennifer Poyer, 4700 Beaver Dam Road, Stevens Point, Wisconsin, 54455. She is a staff member. I moved from Washington State to Wisconsin in September of 2021. I was hired as a part-time communications specialist by the village of Kronenwetter the last week of November of 2021. This means I have worked at the village longer than any other staff employee. Let that sink in. I have worked here only 30 months, and I am the employee that has worked here the longest. In my time at Kronenwetter, I have seen 2 administrators and 4 interim administrators. There have been 3 village clerks, 2 community development directors, 3 public works directors, 2 water clerks, and 2 account clerks. In my 30 short months at the village, we have never been fully staffed at any one time. This speaks volumes. Why are quality employees leaving this amazing community? Is it the residents? No. We have incredible residents that show their support to staff daily. Is it other staff members? How could it be? No one has stayed around long enough to test this theory. This constant turnover is no badge of honor. It's a stain on the village. The blame lies with one man. In my 30 months, I have continually heard employee complaints about trustee Ken Charneski. I have watched quality employees flee because of how they were treated by trustee Ken Charneski. I have been a third party to their frustration from their personal attacks and his desire to drive them away through disrespectful emails, a lack of trust, and belief that they are incapable of doing their job. On the other hand, I have seen staff step up to fill the blank spaces left from Charneski's bullying. We have kept the village going despite the lack of a permanent administrator. We each love our jobs at the village and want to see it thrive. When Leonard Ludy stepped up as administrator, a new hope sprung forth. Ludy has made huge strides in the village. He has tackled issues and changes that were only a thought of in the last few years. Under Ludy's leadership, the village and staff were starting to flourish again. Now, as Ludy leaves, we are at a standstill, yet again as we search for not only an administrator, but a director of public works. We are not only losing quality employees, we are further tarnishing our reputation as a toxic work environment. We are also losing historical and organizational knowledge that leaves with each staff member who walks out the door. We are forced to start from square one with each loss. I implore trustee Charneski to not only recognize his volatile actions, but put a stop to them. His constant scrutiny is driving the village into the ground. We know we are not perfect, but please trust us to do the jobs we were hired to do. Let's work together. Kronenwetter has a bright future. If we can hire and keep quality people here, we will get there faster.
All right, next up is Robbie Burke Lavarge.
Trustee Charneski, this may seem a bit out of normalcy, the village clerk making a public comment. But let's face it, it's an employee of the village, and as a staff member, numerous things have been out of normal, and they all revert back to you. Traits of a narcissist: self-centered, check. Lacking empathy, check. Manipulation and exploitation tactics, meaning you take advantage of others to achieve your own goals for your own personal gain of feeling superior, check. Having a great need for attention, double check. Having a great need for positive recognition, double check. Feeling you are more powerful, intelligent, capable, and charming than you really are, triple check. Resenting others who don't think you are doing and saying what others don't think you are doing and saying is exceptional, quadruple check. You turn to verbal cruelty when you feel your wants, directions, and needs are not met, demanding employee discipline. This will come up later. Civility. You recall that word, don't you, trustee Charneski? Webster's dictionary defines civility as formal politeness and courtesy in behavior and speech. We'll circle back to that word. You have publicly defamed me in my position as a village clerk with your own biased opinions. You utilize reporters to publish words that defame me. You have provided half-truths and misconceptions about me. But that's not why I chose to speak tonight. I'm here today in admiration and support of our current administrator, Leonard Ludy. In the May 9th, 2024 City Pages article, and shown on multiple news channels, you stated Administrator Ludy was technically not qualified for the position, and the board took a chance on him. Ludy's more than qualified compared to others in the administrator position and others the village board agreed to hire. In your own narcissist opinion, you stated that Administrator Ludy realized he was not the best fit for the administrative position. Again, the opinion of a narcissist. You made a recent comment, May 12th, interview with Channel 9 News, stating none of the staff have said anything to me about it. You could not be more of a liar, and that will be proven. You recently sent yet more information to a reporter to publish emails from you to staff in reference to your need for superior recognition, making it look like you are doing exactly what you perceive you were voted in office by watching every move staff makes and catching them, in your mind only, performing incorrect operations, and requesting Administrator Ludy reprimand certain staff as you want done. You mentioned you attached all your emails. Well, in regards to your dissatisfaction on how I handled your role, you missed a few emails in between there. But that was done purposely to make yourself look good to your followers. You mentioned May 12th in your K report that Administrator Ludy stated to you he would not stay beyond his 90 days. Those are not the words he used. I stood outside that staff meeting room listening to the exact conversation between the two of you. Administrator Ludy said he may or not make his probation, considering the constant barrage of emails you claim you do not send, and the warning words you made to him in numerous emails. He did not believe he would make his probation if it was solely up to your discretion. Circling back to civility, during that meeting you corrected Leonard Ludy on the pronunciation of the word civility 2 times because apparently you didn't approve of the way he was saying it. It is disgusting. You thought correcting Administrator Ludy on the pronunciation of a word entitled you to absolution. You are owed nothing.
So that was 3 minutes. So Kim Coyle, do you want to give your time?
You can give your time and then do yours, because I won't take it.
Chris, didn't you say, Chris, didn't you say at the APC meeting that there would be no giving of minutes?
I don't remember. And we did it last meeting.
Well, I
Yeah.
know, but I know you told Bernie Kramer that it would
No,
be.
we're doing it tonight.
And no, he had minutes.
We're doing it tonight.
He was given.
And it is true, I've never heard anything from staff along these lines.
We'll keep
This is
listening.
We're gonna take our bottles.
Administrator Ludy saw an opportunity to make a difference, and he has made a difference in the 8 short months he has been employed with the village. How many employees would be the administrator and the public works director simultaneously? He handled and managed both positions extremely well, aside from your negative antics. This village is a great fit for Administrator Ludi. Your actions alone have proven you are not the right fit for this village. The only drama this village has had for several years is when you became an elected official. If only your followers would research, look back, and realize this. We're losing the best administrator this village has had since my hire here almost 2 years prior. You should hang your head in shame for being the direct cause of that resignation, but instead, you disgustingly take pride in that. Let me refer you to November 11th, 2021 email exchange with previous Community Development Director Randy Pfeiffer when you asked if you caused him and Miss Alicia Richmond to leave employment with the village so you could add that to your list of accomplishments, of achievements. You also went to tell Mr. Pfeiffer, and I quote, "The world does not revolve around you, and believe me, the village will survive without your absence." And in another sentence, you went on to say, "You will certainly have the things you are seeking when you and Mr. Downey start to observe the law and end your unauthorized pay and presence here. You are the only trustee who continues to speak to staff in that narcissist manner. I live my life on my terms. I live my life on my values. I live my life having the courage to address you, the residents of the village of Kronenwetter, the rest of the village board itself, the staff of the village of Kronenwetter, the news media. I do have the courage to stand up from the mainstream. Eventually, karma will show you how poorly things will work out for you. Ever so often you say something that makes me think you are smart. And then I look at you and that thought quickly fades. You have a lot of balls for someone who has no spine. I see things in people even if I feel that person is rotten and that's extremely how I feel about you. I think the staff have made themselves very clear. Good luck to you, Mr. Peter Camper. I hope you have your saddle strapped tight. Trustee Charneski recently told News Channel 9 that Mr. Camper is what the village needs to straighten it out, when in reality, you, Trustee Charneski, have voiced your concerns with only having a soft background check done on Mr. Camper and emailing your concerns about the background check to the board on December 21st of 23, stating we routinely check our bartenders more thoroughly than this, and you don't know where the idea came up to give Kemper a free pass on his background check. You stated the board owed the public due diligence to go through the formality of checking him out just for the record. You discussed the option of hiring a private investigator to conduct a background check on Kemper. You also went on to say the board gets jacked around too much longer by Kemper on a start date. You suggest cutting him loose. But yet you told the media Kemper is exactly what the village needs. What one is it, Trustee Charneski? The sting of what you have done to Administrator Ludi, past and present village staff, and I will never fade. It's a painful lesson, and one you are about to learn. You are the trailer park, Trustee Charneski, and I'm going to become your tornado.
Sounds like a threat.
All right, Kim, pull up.
Sure does.
How much more got left? You got it.
Talk fast.
You got it.
Name and address, please.
Oh, Kimberly Coy, I'm the water utility clerk and interim planning tech.
Address.
641 River Oaks Trail, Kronenwetter, Wisconsin. Channel 9 aired a story about Kronenwetter, and in that statement, Mr. Charneski, you said none of the office staff has ever said anything to you about what has been said. Well, today, Trustee Charneski, I'm telling you in person and on the record, we do not appreciate the rude, condescending, unnecessary, and completely unprofessional comments. We do not appreciate the way in which you will put staff down, and we demand that it comes to an end. Our job is to serve the residents of the village, and you, sir, will not change that despite your best efforts to do so. You do your hardest to bring down the morale of the staff, but in the end, you will fail to do so. In closing, I have one question for you. Have you ever been part of an organization where you had to depend on the others who you work with every day? Trust the leadership and of discussions, making those above you, and provide leadership and direction to those beneath you. The 4 traits of a great leader are trust, compassion, stability, and integrity. You, sir, are failing as an elected village leader at all 4.
Next up is Sarah Fisher.
Sarah Fisher, account clerk, my address is 2175 Camino Road in Kronenwetter. Dear Village Board and residents of Village of Kronenwetter, I'm writing you to bring forward issues that have been plaguing the village since long before I was hired. Now, I cannot speak in detail to what happened prior to my arrival here at the village, but I can speak at what I've seen and heard, been a part of in the last year and a half. Let's start with stats. 1 administrator, 4 interim administrators, 2 treasurers, 2 public works directors, and not once a full staff. In fact, 2 of those interim administrators stated they will not come back to the village due to the actions and treatment by trustee Ken Charneski. Trustee Charneski, you have taken an amazing staff that works wonderfully together and beat them down with extensive email requests and criticism. Every person in this village is a professional and we take our position seriously. We serve the community in conjunction with the village board. However, this has not been the case. It has been a constant battle of respect and trust from you. You spoke about personal animosity towards you by the community members, village board members, and village staff. How do you think this came about? You stated in your response to News 9, none of the office staff had said anything to me about it, and whatever brief interactions I had with them have been cordial. This is not the case. We have reached out through our administrator to our board members, and items have been put on agendas regarding your behavior between staff and fellow trustees with no outcome. You state that you want facts. Here's one. On January 15th, 2024, there was an item on the village board agenda titled Discussion and Possible Action, Interactions with Elected Officials and Others. I was at that board meeting. I clerked it, and that item was put onto the agenda because we had asked it to be put on the agenda. We had went through our chain of command, our administrator and village board members to put it on the agenda, and your actions have been discussed at that meeting. If you want it bluntly said, here it is on the record. Trustee Charneski, we have a problem with the way you treat staff, and we are asking for the antics to stop. We are asking for trust, support, and understanding rather than criticism at every turn. That is all I have to say.
Next up is Teresa O'Brien.
Teresa O'Brien, Fire Chief, 1825 Pine Road, Kronenwetter. The members of Kronenwetter Fire Department are very special people. They have all chosen to give up a part of their own lives to help and protect the lives of everyone in this village. They selflessly leave dinners, holidays, special occasions, and events to answer the call for help, and they are proud to do it without any thanks or recognition. Historically, other departments support their brothers and sisters in the fire and EMS service regardless if we like each other or not, because we all know what it takes to do this job. This last week, it has been very disheartening to see the nastiness strewed in the form of written comments on social media. Some defamatory comments referencing myself and my staff, specifically calling us out by name with false information and opinions that could have only been received from staff on our current contracted ambulance